there, Hoops fans. How you doing? It's your boy Jonathan Macri with you for another episode of NBA Takedown, coming at you at noon on Wednesday, November 5th. I believe yesterday was the 2-week anniversary of the start of the 80th NBA basketball season. So what better time to do a list? Why? Because everybody loves lists, and we love lists here at NBA Takedown. Joining me, the esteemed panel for today. I don't know if the word esteemed should be anywhere in the same sentence as this gentleman's name, but I will be kind and say hello to Shawn with a W. Hi, Shawn.
Hello. As we spoke about before, I'm very happy today because one of my fellow alumni of the Bronx High School of Science, Ja Morant, has just been elected mayor of New York City. I am not going to go down a political rabbit hole. I'm just here to gloat and talk shit. Because a guy that went to the same high school as me now is the mayor, will be the next mayor of New York. So congrats to him, and we'll move on from there.
When he gets up and has his first public speech or whatever, will he say it just like you said it? Shout out to my alma mater, the Bronx High School of Science, or is he going to be a normal person about it?
If he doesn't, he should say the just like similar to the Ohio State University. Listen, if you don't have a "the" in front of your name, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, on that note, I'd like to also welcome to the show the Dexter Henry of the New York Post.
I like the in front of it, but people only do that to big up themselves. Like nobody else has done this for the school. Right? Yes. Like Shawn is the only person saying this about Bronx High School of Science. And I have some friends who went there, and now all of you guys are going to be insufferable. That's what it's going to be.
I mean, I don't walk around saying I went to the Fordham University or the Fordham Law School. I mean, I could, I guess.
Well, is it the Fordham University or is it just Fordham University? And Dexter, you should know all about being insufferable with that goddamn hat on your head, but whatever.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
I can't even see the hat.
20-time Premier League
Liverpool
champions.
hat.
20-time Premier League champions. Just
he leaned right into the bit.
Here's the thing. I think Shawn makes a good point, though.
Yeah.
You make a good point, Macri, not Shawn. The school has to actually have the in front of it.
Yeah.
So I actually go to a school that has the in front of it. I went to a school. I'm an alum of the University of Pittsburgh. So it's the University of Pittsburgh. Right?
Yeah, but there's a pretentiousness. You don't walk around being like, if somebody like, where'd you go to college?
I just say Pitt.
You went to Pitt because you're a normal person and you don't have issues.
Yeah, there's a pretentiousness to it. Let's take it a step. There's an assholeness to it. That's what it is. And
Shawn does his Shawn's
and how Shawn gets down, this kind of fits. That's all I'm saying.
I just want to say real quick.
Yeah.
As I said for years, everyone has a little bit of douchebag in them, and sometimes you have to know when to lean into the douchebaggery.
I don't disagree with that.
I mean, if you're a content creator and you don't have a little bit of douchebaggery in you, you're probably not a very good content creator. In other news, welcome to NBA Takedown. Please like, subscribe, rate, review, all those things wherever you are getting your content, whether it's on YouTube or your podcast feed. Help us out, help the show out. And I mean, if you have any friends who like a little bit of douchebaggery with their NBA podcasting, tell them about the show because God knows this is the place to find it. So speaking of a little bit of asshole, Ja Morant continues to be, listen, spade to spade.
That is a transition, boy. Yes, this guy's a pro.
No, it's not my first rodeo, Shawn. There you go. He continues to be in the news. After his 1-game suspension, he made his return to the Memphis Grizzlies. I had the game on. I'll be honest, I was not able to pay attention to it as much as I would have liked to because it was happening opposite the Knicks game. But they lost. He did not play particularly well. And the Memphis Grizzlies, and speaking to reporters afterwards, he did not sound like a guy who was like, all right, I'm back, all in, baby. 10 toes, right? 10 toes down. Dex, what are your thoughts on the situation before we get into our list?
So when someone had sent me the post-game reaction, because I, like you, J-Mac, I had missed what happened in the game. Then I went back and watched it. And look, let me start with that. Ja Morant quit on his team. We can be real about this. Yeah, come on, Shawn. He quit.
I think the word, I'm not saying you're doing it now, but I think the word quit is thrown out a lot when it comes to athletes. It's like they have a bad game, do something like, oh, they quit. And it's like,
okay, you know what? I will retract that. I do think you're right about that. It does get thrown around a little too loosely in the media. Let me say this. He was in his feelings on the court. He was clearly in a mood and did not handle his behavior on the court like an adult, is what I will say. That a little bit more. Yeah.
Dex, you know what's another word for that? He quit on his team. No, but like, you're a professional athlete. You get, he gets, I don't know what his contract is, $40 million a year or whatever. You are ostensibly the leader of your team, the leader of your franchise.
Mm-hmm.
And I was listening to Verno, who's a Memphis guy, talking to Zach Lowe on Zach's pod. And he's talking, he's talking about how much Ja Morant means to the city. And so, like, if you go out there and perform like that, and that is what you are carrying around on your shoulders. Now, maybe it's too much for him, and that explains why we're in the situation we're in. But I don't know, Dex. I thought you used a perfectly fine word for what.
Okay, so whether you want to say quit, whether you want to say he was in his feelings, right, about all this stuff, I will at least use this word. That's not professional. I do like the word you use there, right? As a professional athlete, you got to, as a professional, anything, you need to comport yourself in a certain way. Mm-hmm. Look. And then you have the post-game stuff, J-Mac. That's, go ask the coach. Now, it's come out that the coach went and confronted him.
Yep.
After, which I love. I like that. Hey, if you can't talk to the best player, I'm putting air quotes for a reason on that, on your team and tell him where he's letting the team down, and if he can't handle it, that's not good. I think it's a bad look. The Ja Morant apparently fired back the coach, whatever, that happens in locker rooms. Heat of the moment, all that other stuff. But to then publicly do this when you're asked questions about stuff, it's like, I don't know, go ask the coaching staff. I don't know, go ask the coaching staff.
Yeah.
That's really what he probably got suspended for, more than the like firing back at his coach. But here's the thing. The act is starting to wear thin with Ja Morant, guys.
Yeah.
It's starting to wear thin. Like, look, I thought some stuff was made a little bit too far with the gun stuff for him. But here's the thing. Like, when I'm talking about, not when he had the gun on IG Lives and stuff. That was actually just stupid, right? But when he did the air gun celebration stuff, I thought people were going a little bit too far with that and saying that he was doing some stuff. Now, I think he was a little tone deaf on that. You know what just happened before? Maybe you don't want to do an air gun celebration. However, I've been saying this about Ja Morant. I've had a lot of concerns about him, not just as a player, but just personally with some of the decisions that he's made. Who around him is advising him of this stuff? He currently does not have an agent, right? And supposedly wants an extension with the Memphis Grizzlies. But if I'm the Grizzlies with all the stuff that's going on, and then how he's acted here, J-Mac, do you want to give him an extension? Do you want to? Is this guy truly the face of his franchise? And listen, I'll address the stuff on he means a lot to Memphis. Yeah, but sometimes a player can have more value to one franchise in one city than any place else. Does anybody else really want Ja Morant?
Well, we went through the league. We did the fake trade, the fake Morant trade segment on Monday. Mm-hmm. I was actually pretty proud of myself that the top three that I landed on the top three, one of which was Utah, which I put purely for comedy's sake, because seeing Ja Morant have to play in Utah.
He would hate. I mean, a lot of people hate going to Utah, but he does not want to go to Utah.
I think he would have a special hatred for having to go to Utah and play in Utah. Although Shawn had a counter to that, which we don't have to get into right now.
It's out from Vegas. That's the counter.
There you go.
That fair.
But I said Sacramento, and I said New Orleans, which were the two top ones that Zach floated as well. And what do those two situations have in common? Desperation. Sacramento is desperate for wins. New Orleans, with their pick out the door, and like clearly there's a lot of stuff going on there, they might be desperate for wins and to show something this year. So if to your point, Dex, if the only two teams in the league that you could look at and be like, well, that's a trade destination I could see happening, or I could see them giving up what it would take for Memphis to turn around and be like, yeah, this is worth it for us to get out of the Ja Morant business. if the thing they have in common is desperation, that's probably not a good sign for your trade value. Which is a good transition to our conversation today, which is like, and you alluded to it, Dex. Is he worth the trouble at this point? You know, and I don't. It's tough because it's early in the season, so like we don't want to draw too many conclusions, but at the same time, like you live in the moment in the NBA. Before we get into the list, Shawn, like, in terms of a player's fall from heights, from like the highest heights that is non-injury related, which I don't consider the Morant. I know he's gotten hurt at times. I don't consider this injury related. I consider this to be like, we haven't seen something quite like this, right, in a while.
No, you're right. We haven't, especially to your point. It's not injury related. It's not like, or you got suspended for fighting, like like Ron Artest did, or things like that. It's just literally just like, hey, you just keep doing these annoying things, and we tell you to stop doing them, and you go back, you keep doing them again and again and again.
Yeah.
To your point, he doesn't have an agent. I was listening to Amino Hassan on the Lebatard show yesterday, and he was saying how it seems as if, I don't know how true this is, but he said that like his father was like, went from like his staunchest like the person who held him in line and accountable when he was in high school and college, to now he's just like his biggest cheerleader. He's like, I want to be courtside the games, whatever. Like, no one's telling this guy like chill. Like maybe he needs more, like when he flashed the gun in the car and his man was telling him like, put the gun away. It's like, that's like he needs more of those guys in his life. But yeah, I can't think of anything not injury related.
It's just wild because I remember I had ahead of the 2019 draft. Oh my God, it's a long time ago when we didn't, but it was before the lottery, so we didn't know where the Knicks were going to pick, but they were obviously gunning for a top spot. I had Miran Fader on the pod because she did a whole Morant profile.
Fantastic profile.
Remember that one?
I remember. Yeah, Miran's a good friend. Remember that one? Yeah.
And so if you remember it, it's like you would have thought that this guy was going to be the next like Steph Curry in terms of a leader and like what he was going to bring. And for us to now be here, it's like, it is kind of crazy because he was like, it's like Anakin. It was like, you were the chosen one. Well, no, not anymore. So Tim Bontemps of ESPN recently went on Hoop Collective and basically questioned whether Morant was a top 10 point guard in the NBA still, which is how I got the idea for us to do this show. And everybody likes rankings and lists. So that's what we are going to do. So the goal here, come up with a top 10 list, top 10 point guards in the NBA. Before we get started, I do not feel that it would be fair to include the following names in this discussion because they either will not play basketball this season or they have not played basketball this season. You are the panel today, so I will ask either of you, did anybody have a problem with us excluding these from consideration? Tyrese Halliburton, Damian Lillard, Kyrie Irving, Fred VanVleet, and then the two tough ones are De'Aaron Fox and Darius Garland. Dex, should again, it's based on this season. So do you want to consider any of those guys, or are you cool leaving them out?
So off the top of my head, this is what I say. All the guys you mentioned there. Who's the last two you mentioned? You said De'Aaron Fox.
I'll say them one more time.
Yeah.
Halliburton, Lillard, Kyrie, VanVleet, and then the guys who will be coming. Actually, Darius Garland might play tonight. Right. De'Aaron Fox and Darius Garland.
So just listening to those names, I just want to say this. I think the only person that you listed, the two people that I think Ja Morant's clearly better than, is Fred VanVleet and De'Aaron Fox. So
and yet,
so part of me doesn't want to leave those other people off the list, but yes, with the injuries to Dame, Halliburton, all that other stuff, I think you got to leave them off. I think Garland and Fox should be included because we expect them to play this season.
If you want to play, you want to,
and possibly Kyrie.
Okay, well, Shawn, what do you think?
Okay, I agree that we should include Fox and
fine.
Like, in fact, I just saw that apparently he's not on the injury report for tonight's game against the Lakers.
He's gonna play.
So yeah, let's include him. Let's include Garland. Kyrie, I'm iffy on because he ain't gonna play till January, and he's like 34, 35 years old, coming off an ACL. Like, I don't know if he'd make the top 10.
If we saw him and he was on the court, I think he would probably make the top 10. But we're months away. Let's include Garland and Fox because I'm actually not even sure if they're gonna make the list anyway. regarding Dex, you said Fox. There's no way San Antonio is trading De'Aaron Fox for Ja Morant with what they got going on. They're going to bring Ja Morant into that situation. I'm not saying that means Fox is better.
I agree with you, and I'm not a huge De'Aaron Fox fan. But here's the thing I know about De'Aaron Fox: he's not going to play with any guns. I know that. You know what I mean? He might show up to work. I know
good locker room guy.
Yeah, and that stuff matters. I think that stuff sometimes gets lost when we're talking about basketball. Like the people stuff matters in terms of that. So yeah, I hear your point. I don't think San Antonio does that trade. No.
It can't get lost because, as we're going to talk about in a bit, I did this in sections, including a section where it's like automatics. One of the guys who's on my automatics list, spoiler alert, we get to watch him a lot here in New York. Like, you can't disengage the personality part, the culture part, the leader part, the locker room part. You can't separate. It's all one and the same, especially when, by the way, we're not doing a list of top centers or small forwards or power forwards. This is a list of top point guards.
Right.
So I think it matters a little bit more here. Okay. Now we're going to start to get into the nitty gritty. I have three names here with a fourth kind of honorable mention. And we are going to take a vote. Majority wins. So we have three people. So it's going to be yes or no. Is this person a point guard? And I think it gets progressively more difficult as we go on. First person, I think it's a yes, but posing it, Luka Doncic.
Yes.
Shawn. Yeah, Shawn's muted, but he's giving the thumbs up. Okay. This is an audio medium, Shawn. You would have thought they would have taught you that at the Bronx High School of Science. But maybe Shawn was absent that day.
Podcasts did not exist when I was in high school in the 20th century, so they did not teach me that.
That's a shame.
Fair response.
Okay. So then Luka's a point guard. I agree. That's 3 for 3. Luka's on. Next one, a little bit dicier. Amen Thompson. And before you answer, I just want to give you this as a backdrop. He is starting this season in a lineup with Jabari Smith Jr., Alperen Sengun, Kevin Durant, and currently Josh Okogie. They started Steven Adams at the beginning of the year. Point is, he's ostensibly the point guard in that group. Dex, I'll go to you first. Yes or no?
I'm going with the no.
Going with a no. Okay.
Yeah.
Shawn?
I would say yes in name only, but
he's done it for what, 6 games?
But I mean, he might be doing it for another 76. Like,
he might,
because they might have a choice unless they make a trade. So I think, listen, if they start, like, when you read off those names, I'm like, hey, he's the point guard. Is offense running through him necessarily all the time? No, but
I mean, when Reed Shepherd comes in, Reed Shepherd is like very clearly the point guard. When Aaron Holiday comes in, Aaron Holiday is like clearly the point guard. Thus far this year, Amen Thompson is averaging 5.5 assists per game, which is second on the team to Alperen Sengun, who's averaging 7.3 assists per game. I'm going to go with Dex. I'm going to say no.
Fine with me.
Sorry. Now this, Dex, if you said no on Amen, I think you're going to say no on this player, but I'm going to lay out the case. Devin Booker, who is starting with Ryan Dunn, Ryan O'Neal, Grayson Allen, and Mark Williams. None of those players are point guards. And he's averaging 7 assists a game.
Here's why I will say yes with Devin Booker here. Even though he's traditionally a shooting guard, he's done more of it over a longer period of time. We saw him do this last year. We saw him do it 2 seasons ago they were having him play a lot of time at the point. I just think with Amen Thompson, I'd feel better if I had more of a body of work for him doing it. Okay. Devin Booker is traditionally a shooting guard, but he has played a lot of point guard and has to because Phoenix doesn't have one. I've seen him do it for longer. That's my standard. I have more evidence of him doing it than Amen Thompson.
Your standard is I got to see it. I got to see it over a sample size. Okay. Yeah. Shawn?
I would, what's funny? He's been in this kind of like hybrid point guard, not point guard thing for a while. So I think for purposes of this discussion, I would include him.
I think you have to. I think you have to. I think if you are clearly the closest thing to a point guard on your team, like, and like the assist numbers are there. He is running the off. Here, let's put it this way: if Luka Doncic is a point guard, then why is Devin Booker not a point guard? You know, like, yes, Luka's a better passer, but like, I don't know. Is there a huge difference between Jalen Brunson and Devin Booker in terms of like how they go about their business? Like, maybe not. So I'll go. So we'll go yes. I'll also vote for yes for Booker. So we'll say those three. Okay. Automatics. Oh, and the guy I wanted to mention, he's not going to be eligible for this because we could only have one player per team. But I wonder if the discussion is about Ja Morant and whether he's in the top 10, would Dyson Daniels get a nod? And how many teams would rather have Dyson Daniels on their roster, even with his new extension, which actually isn't a bad contract, than Ja Morant?
Damn, that's a good question.
Right?
I think it depends on the situation. Because like someone like Dyson Daniels, his value is based on playing next to someone who will do the things that, in theory, you ask someone like a Ja Morant to do. Like, Dyson Daniels isn't going to be the leader of your franchise.
No, he's not running your offense, but
so I mean, he's like, but okay, so he's the shorter guy with the ball in his hand sometimes that plays a bunch of defense. It's like, all right, like I don't know if in terms of would I rather have Dyson Daniels than Ja Morant? I think it depends on the situation. But again, it's like when Bill Simmons was doing the whole when he was having his overreaction about Herb Jones in that playoff series a couple years ago. It's like,
yes,
would I rather have Herb Jones or RJ Barrett? And Ryan Russell very, very astutely pointed out, it's like Herb Jones' value is based on playing next to someone that does the things that you want RJ Barrett to do. So I don't necessarily know if I'm Sacramento, for example, I don't want Dyson Daniels. I want Ja Morant, and that's a no-brainer.
I don't know about that. I just, to me, it's like it depends on the complexion of your team. Like, for instance, a guy we're going to talk about in a little bit, Derek White. He is the point guard, the nominal point guard on the Boston Celtics. Now, as we're seeing this year, part of his struggles may be the fact that he no longer gets to play alongside a guy like Jason Tatum. But when you have Tatum in there, well, Derek White's like a perfect point guard for that team. I know Dyson Daniels obviously is not the shooter that Derek White is. Well, putting aside this year, but like still he could, like, again, it comes down to that, like that word, like that nominal point guard. Dyson Daniels is a nominal point guard, but he's not running your show. So I think I just wanted to mention him because I thought
I agree with both you guys. It really depends on who you've got around you and what kind of team you want to build. So yeah, if I'm Sacramento, do I want Ja Morant? Me personally, not running Sacramento, but that does feel like the Sacramento. It feels like the Sacramento thing to do, though, right? Like, it feels like that. Like, that's the move Sacramento would make. I think there's a world in which I could say Derek White, Dyson Daniels are better fits for your team in terms of winning. Or do they contribute more to winning than Ja Morant do? And here's the thing: people are going to listen and be like, Dex, Ja Morant was a 2 seed in the West twice. He's won 50-odd plus games, but
he was.
Yes, keyword is was. His athleticism is declining. The shooting is not getting better. So I don't know. I don't know how good of a fit he is for your team.
I think maybe the slipperyest slope in the NBA, and this is a good entryway into this conversation, is when, like, from a first option who, put aside like whether a first option that could lead a championship team, because historically there's been like 25 of those guys in the history of the league, a first option that could lead a very good team, a team that like is capable of winning 50 games, versus, and then you start to go down the slope and it's like, all right, well, if this guy is your best player, if this is the player who has the ball in their hands the most, like, how good can you be? And like right now, I think Ja is in that in between place where it's like, oh, if he's your number one guy, you may not be that great of a team. Okay. Automatics. I have 4.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me if anybody disputes any of these. In rough order, I guess. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Luka Doncic, Steph Curry, and Jalen Brunson. Dex, any issues with any of those?
Nope. Those should all be locks.
Sean?
Agreed.
Okay. I just want a couple stats. We're not going to go crazy on the stats today unless it really matters. Luka Doncic is in the 100th percentile according to Cleaning Glass in both usage and efficiency. I'm not sure I've ever seen that before. That said, he has only played 152 minutes this season. SGA is the reigning MVP, shooting the lights out of the ball. Steph Curry is leading the league in 3-point attempts, and he is shooting 39% on those. He's a pretty good basketball player. Jalen Brunson, unfortunately, is started off the season slow from 3. Which is the only reason his overall efficiency is a little bit lower. He's only 7 for 34 on pull-up threes, which is really what's holding him back. But he's a 39%, or excuse me, a 40% three-point shooter over the last 5 years if you put them together. I am inclined to go with the order that I just said before, which is SGA 1, Luka 2, Curry 3, Brunson 4, and maybe someone leapfrogs 1 or 2 of these players. We'll see, but based on these 4 so far, Dex, what would be your order?
I'm a big Luka fan, but then it's hard to me not put SGA. I'm thinking about it. I want to put Luka 1, but I got to go SGA 1. Just want an MVP. He's a better defensive player. He's the best two-way point guard in the game, hands down.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even think that's debatable. Yeah, I like that. I'm fine with I'm going to rock with your order, Bakary. I'm fine with that. SGA, Luka, Steph, and then Brunson. Yeah.
Sean?
I have it Luka, SGA, Brunson, and Curry.
You have Brunson over Curry.
So
make
point guard, like point guard. You want to tell me Steph Curry is the better basketball player? I'll have no argument with you. But point guard?
Well, so I don't know what Steph is assisting right now. I know Brunson, I'm pretty sure, is averaging like 5-point-something assists this season.
Yeah. I would say, okay, listen, Steph's gravity is second to none, but that's but that's not necessarily like gravity is not necessarily like tied to point guards only. Anyone can have gravity at any position. Look, man, listen. If we're doing this year, and if we're not doing a lifetime achievement award,
no, we're doing this year right now. Who would you rather have right now in the league today?
Today, I don't think it is that much of a stretch to say Jalen Brunson, considering Jalen Brunson isn't in year 17, and we've already seen injury issues pop up with Steph. If that's what you're asking me, like, listen, if you say Curry, I'm not gonna besmirch you, but I think a case can be made. So we're shuffling deck chairs on a Titanic here.
Yeah, Sean, to your point about Brunson possibly being a better playmaker, his assist percentage is higher than Steph's this season thus far. 29.5 according to Cleaning the Glass. Steph's at 22. So
Steph's low in terms of assist percentage for point guards, but like I guess my point is that like neither of these guys as a passer are Trae Young or Luka, or one of these, like shit, even like Josh Giddey. So
crazy we're saying that. Wow.
It is. Well, we're gonna get to Giddey in a moment. I honestly like look putting age aside, the Warriors wouldn't trade Steph for Brunson. The Knicks wouldn't trade Brunson for Steph.
Agreed.
Putting age aside, but let's pretend both players were the same age, because again, we're talking about this season, right? How many teams would want Brunson leading their offense? How many teams would want Steph Curry leading their offense? Look, nobody loves Jalen Brunson more than me. I think because of Steph's shooting, and because if we're keeping it a buck, like defensively, he might be. We have seen you're right. We have seen Brunson get picked on, and not that Steph doesn't, but we've also seen him survive it enough to win like a bunch of championships. I think more teams would look at Curry's shooting gravity specifically and say that's easier to translate than what Brunson brings. And yet I do wonder, as I say that, am I living in the moment because Brunson is hitting whatever he is, 30% on pull-up threes? All right, Dex, you're sticking with Curry over Brunson?
I'm rolling with yours. Just because I got to give SGA love for being the best two-way point guard. But I can't kill Shawn. If
I can't either.
I could flip Brunson for Steph. I don't think that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like he was some wild statement. And to your point, Shawn, look, Luka's to me one of the best passers I've ever seen.
Wow,
period. At his height, he's one of the best talents I've ever seen in the game. So if you want to put Luka one, because I was thinking about that, I just wanted to reward defense a little bit, but I have no problem with Luka being one at all whatsoever.
You know what, Shawn? I think maybe you were on the debate team at the
stop encouraging him with the
high school of.
Come on,
is it the Bronx Science High School or the?
It's the Bronx High School of Science.
The Bronx High School of.
Is it actually?
Yes.
I should
if you literally at the front door, it says the Bronx High School of Science.
I just thought it was Bronx High School of Science. I didn't know that. So see, now I can't kill you for saying.
Actually, Dex, sorry, it's Bronx Science. That's how I refer to it as for my entire life up until an hour ago. But Shawn, I'm gonna flip it, and you know why I'm gonna flip it? Because even if we're not considering age for the purposes of because we're only looking at right now. The injury factor, I think, and we've seen Curry get banged up. I know Brunson missed a month last year. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I trust Brunson to hold up more over the course of the season. So by a hair, I'll put Brunson ahead of Curry. So we got SGA 1, Luka 2, Brunson 3, Curry 4. I have now a fifth guy. I put him in the maybe automatic category just because he is playing at a first-team All-NBA level so far this year, despite the fact that neither he nor his teammate Joel Embiid could hit a shot in the last 4.5 minutes of last night's game. My God, what a horrible... Worst regular season loss so far for any team?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They were up by 25 or 6 or 7.
25, 26, can't remember. Yeah.
Just when the Sixers fans were starting to come
they were
around,
drinking a cool.
What did I say last week? I said all the Sixers fans I know were like, yep. I'm not doing this. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. And this is.
Listen, it was going to happen. It's just a matter of when. No, I think the Sixers are a good, feisty team. And you know why? It's because they have Tyrese Maxey, who is averaging 34.5 points, 8.5 assists, 2.5 turnovers. He is in the 87th percentile for efficiency at his position, according to Cleaning the Glass. This is a pretty impressive number. Plus 16.1 points per 100 possession on off. So Joel Embiid, for the longest time, was the on-off god, not just for the Sixers, but for all of basketball to a comical degree. Now, the Sixers are, if you go by the numbers, poo-poo when Joel Embiid is on the floor. When Tyrese Maxey's out there, they can do no wrong. And then this is maybe the most impressive early season stat in basketball. He is 20 for 39 on pull-up threes. Wow. He's hitting he's taken the third most or something like that in the league, and he's hitting them at over a 50% clip. I kind of think Maxey is, because we already have had an all-star season from Maxey 2 years ago, and last season I kind of throw out with the trash, and we've seen, and we all saw him kind of single-handedly almost beat the Knicks in the playoffs a couple of years ago. I think he's done enough that I am willing to put him in the automatic category and rank him fifth. Dex, what say you?
No, absolutely. He was the next guy I was thinking of. I knew that's where you were going. I don't have any problem with it at all whatsoever. Maxey's a stud. He's a damn good player. So,
Shawn.
I listen. You can stamp his ticket to LA for the All-Star game. That's a lock.
Oh, that's
and he's knocking on All NBA at the end of the season.
We're a ways away from All NBA, but I think my personal most interesting All NBA storyline that I will be tracking is whether Maxey can keep this up to the degree that he cracks the what is going to be continue. It's going to look more and more like this hallowed top 5, assuming Wemby doesn't miss too many games and Luka doesn't miss too many games, and obviously Giannis plays. Although talk about a rough loss last night. Shout out to your Toronto Raptors, Shawn. They whooped up on the Bucks last night. Shout out RJ Barrett, who will not be in this conversation because he's not a point guard, but nice early season from him. Okay, so we're already at 5, and we haven't even gone through the contenders. So let's go. I think we should just kind of go through these one by one. I'm going to start with Morant, not because I have Morant 6th, but because I want to get the stats out of the way. Okay, and they're not great. He's averaging 20 and 7, which seems fine, except when you compare it to some of his earlier seasons, which it's a bit of a drop off. He is currently 1 for 12 on catch and shoot threes and 4 for 22 on pull up threes. And you want to laugh? That's not the most concerning thing for me. The most concerning thing for me is this guy who used to be able to get into the paint at will is shooting 50% on twos and is only getting to the line a little more than 6 times a game.
Yep.
I like Dex, which of those numbers is most worrisome to you? Because you can make a case for all of them.
It's the 50% on twos. This guy's one of the best finishers. And I was looking at these numbers last night, J-Mac. Same thing. And that's what stood out to me. I was like, oh, and then also the free throw rate, right? Like you're just not getting to the line like you used to. He's a guy that was getting to line about 8 times a game.
Yes.
You know, a lot of defenders could not stay in front of him. Here's the problem. See, this is going to come into what Dex likes in terms of players.
What does Dex like in terms of players? I can't wait to hear this.
I generally say this all the time. I think athleticism is great, but it's a bit overrated, particularly in today's NBA. Skill matters so much more. And I think Ja Morant's an example of that. Ja Morant, very athletic. And I also will say, I want to add leadership because I thought he was the kind of guy that could like get his guys going around him. And he doesn't seem to do that anymore, right? In terms of the way he acted on the court. But now you can't shoot. As the athleticism starts to decline, and Ja Morant is what, 26 years old, guys? He's 26.
26.
As the athleticism starts to decline, how is he not then a poor man's Russell Westbrook?
Oh.
Because at least Russell Westbrook used to give you the effort. That's one thing you say about Russell Westbrook. He never cheats the game. That's one thing you can always say. That man never cheats the game. You might not like his shooting. He might do some things questionably in the clutch. That is all true. But he never cheats the game. He'll give you effort. He will play in the passing lanes. Ja Morant on defense, not so good. Okay. Then if you're not finishing at a high level, not your point, J-Mac, but also the stats show this out. You're not finishing at a high level, and your shot from the outside is not getting better.
Russell Westbrook won the MVP he was definitely older than 26.
He's 28 or 29 of that.
Yeah. So like, and to your point about not cheating the game, Russell Westbrook, I mean, look, I make fun of Russ sometimes. Everybody pokes fun of Russ sometimes. It's kind of become a thing to do in the NBA. It's the reason why it's messed up is because the guy goes 110% every minute he's on the court. And we just saw Ja Morant. Like, I don't think, has Russell Westbrook ever had has he ever had a possession that was akin to what Ja Morant did in the second half a couple days? No. He's never had that. So I don't even know if that's a fair what I love that you comped to Russ though, like again, going back a little bit of like NBA history, how many guys who relied so much on their athleticism at the point guard position early in their career were able to age gracefully into their late 20s and early 30s. Like, I don't know that there's a whole lot of names on that list.
I don't know if this guy was truly like jump out athlete for you, but he didn't have a shot and then actually ended up becoming a good shooter and is up there in all-time leaders in three-point shooters, Jason Kidd. But
that's a great. But he's also one of the most gifted passers of all time.
Yes, he is in a stratosphere of like 6 or 7 guys in terms of passing, right at the point guard position. You're right. So, but to that point, J-Mac and Shawn, I'm intrigued what you think about this too. Right now, like today, what is Ja Morant's elite skill?
I'm glad you asked that because I was thinking about like Ja Morant. When you think about his ability to get to the line, is he would get into the paint and then try to finish over or through you, right?
Yeah.
And as a while after, and it actually reminds me of Blake Griffin when Blake Griffin first got into the league, and it was like, I'm getting the paint and I'm trying to yam on everyone. And then he realized, you know what? My career won't last very long if I'm always trying to like jump over Pau Gasol. But you saw how Blake Griffin modified his game and involved his game to become like top 5, like MVP candidate, MVP level of basketball. The shooting got better, the passing got better, what have you. We haven't seen that evolution from Ja yet. We've seen him say, like, okay, like he said, was it last year? Like, I'm not dunking on anyone anymore. He recognizes that, like, his athleticism is going to wane as he gets older, and it's going to be more dangerous for him to try to jump over or through everybody. But we haven't seen the evolution of like he's not the passer that a Luka or Jason Kidd or a Trae Young is, right? And the shooting isn't there. So it's like he's kind of in trouble. Like if he has to like you can't be a point guard and not shoot in today's league. You can't.
I agree.
I'm gonna give you 2, and they're both from a different era, so the shooting wasn't as important to them, but I think they're both relevant to this conversation. Kevin Johnson was the second best player on a finals team in 1993. Made the All-Star team the next year at the age of 27.
Mm-hmm.
He was essentially out of the league at 31. He like came back for a 6-game stint with Phoenix, after he retired actually and sat out for an entire year. And he was like, no. So that's one. And then the other is a guy who came up on the show recently is Penny Hardaway, which like, is there a chance we're looking back at Ja Morant as like a latter day, not similar player types, but in terms of like Penny was a guy who relied a lot on his athleticism. And then once that left, he kind of tried to morph into like a wing. Like Ja Morant can't do that. He's too small.
Mm-hmm. The thing with Penny and Kevin Johnson's a guy I loved. And as a young Knick fan, I was always like, can we trade for him, please? Like,
he was awesome.
I want him to be the point guard to be paired with Patrick. Those guys' injuries hurt them, right? Yes. And so maybe I'm giving them a little bit of a pass, but I see the correlation you're making, J-Mac. Like I get what you're doing with that.
If Morant can't do physically what he used to do, whether there was a massive injury or not, does it matter?
No, it doesn't, because what matters is what can you do for me today and right now and on the court, and how do you fit around a team? Yeah. And maybe what we're all asking here, the question is, and we'll get into this as we go through the rest of the top 10, is like, but can you win with Ja Morant? And again, we're not talking about 50 games getting to the first round and maybe the second round. I'll put it like this. All the dudes we've mentioned already, with the exception of Maxey, have all been past the second round.
Have been to the conference finals.
Have been in the conference finals, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We've seen that. With the exception of Maxey, I think we all would believe Maxey has the talent to do it. His team, and might have done it already if his team was healthy.
Well,
but
no, it's a great. I mean, obviously the name we haven't brought up because it's just too on the nose is Derrick Rose. But again, significant injury. Yep. But if that's what Morant is as a player, okay. So let's go through some of these kind of quickly, and then I have a feeling we're going to be pretty comfortable putting some of these guys ahead of Morant. So I'm going to go, since we considered him as a point guard, Devin Booker. He would be the next name on my list. I don't know if he should. We could debate whether he'll go 6, but do you agree that Booker should be in the top 10 or at the very least ahead of Morant?
He's absolutely ahead of Morant for me.
Shawn,
you thinking about it?
Yeah, I'll put him ahead. I'll put him ahead. All
right, we'll come back to where he is on the top 10. Cade Cunningham, not shooting it this year, is averaging 24, 10, and 6, which is good. He is taking a bunch of pull-up threes. He is actually he's shooting 30% on 3. He's actually shooting better on pull-up threes than he is on catch-and-shoot threes. I'm a believer in Cade. I think he belongs on this list. I think especially when you consider what he brings defensively with the size. Dex ahead of Morant?
Yes. Yeah. In fact, he had a huge pull-up 3 to beat the Grizzlies the other night. So, I'm putting him ahead.
Yeah. And he's taking them. He's taking them.
Yep.
Okay. The aforementioned. Let's talk about Josh Giddey for a second. 23, 10, and 9. He's almost averaging a triple-double, which I know doesn't matter to us because Russell Westbrook did it, and Russell Westbrook can't be good, so triple-doubles thus don't matter anymore. Shooting 42% on threes, only 4 of 12 on pull-ups, but if you look at his growth in terms of being willing to take pull-up threes over the last few years, he went from 0 to like something real last year, and now it's like he's taking 2 a game, which is like, hey, that's good. 33% is not terrible. The catch and shoot's not really there. Plus 7.5 on off for the Bulls. So when he's on the floor, the Bulls are doing very well. I can't believe
Yo,
this isn't even close for me.
It's not close. This season is not close. It's not close.
I can't believe we're talking about Josh Giddey in this way. If you'd have told me before the season that we're going to be talking about Josh Giddey on the top 10 point guard list, I'd be like, you're out your mind. But if you've watched the man play,
there is.
Here's the other thing.
Halloween.
I don't know how much this factors for you guys, but it does for me. Can I trust you to be available? I trust Josh Giddey more than I do Ja Morant.
Oh, I thought you were going a different direction. Are there any high schools in close vicinity of the United Center?
I'm glad you brought that up, J-Mac. I thought about it, but I'm just, how has that just gone away?
It just disappeared.
We
don't even. It's like it never happened.
Nobody talks about it until J-Mac brought it up right now.
Somebody said that. Someone said that last night, and it was like this just went away, and no one talks about it at all. I'm like, shit. But yeah, it's gone away. But to your point, listen, this year it's not close. It's not close.
It's not.
Agreed.
The next guy. Then we could do a whole show. We have done it. It feels like entire episodes on this guy, LaMelo Ball. Okay. Well, I'll just give you the numbers: 23, 10, and 8. So pretty much the same numbers as Josh Giddey for what it's worth. Mm-hmm. Here's where it's different. So on the good side, LaMelo Ball 54% on twos. That's actually a career best for him, which I don't know what that says about LaMelo Ball. Here's the rub. Actually, I'll do one more positive, and then we'll get to the rub. Despite the fact that they beat the hell out of the Jazz without Ball the other night, plus 14.7 points per 100 possessions with LaMelo Ball on the court. So that is an exceptional number and also speaks to how bad the Hornets are. LaMelo Ball, who takes a lot of pull-up threes, 8 for 26 on pull-up threes this year. Now, you might say, well, that's early season. Doesn't matter.
No.
Let me give you the last 5 years of LaMelo Ball's career three-point percentage, starting furthest back. 38.9%, 37.6%, 35.5%, 33.9% last year, and 33.3% on all threes this year. He might be ahead of Morant. I don't know how you include LaMelo Ball on a top 10 point guard list. That's just
that's the thing. And here's what's funny about LaMelo Ball, guys. Before LaMelo Ball got drafted, I watched stuff on him. I had a little bit of concern about his shooting. And then he came in the league and shot better than I thought. But if you look at those numbers and you look at what you just mentioned on the pull-up threes this year, J-Mac, the thing about this is where numbers can slightly deceive you. You need to watch. The eye test matters too. Have you watched LaMelo Ball play? His shot diet is terrible.
But that's part of the discussion.
I agree with you. I agree.
No one's forcing him to take these one-legged fakakta pull-up threes.
He's taking pull-up threes 3 feet, 4 feet behind the line with 2 people draped all over him. No, I can't put LaMelo Ball in the top 10 of point guards at all whatsoever. Now, if you're asking me, is he ahead of Ja Morant right now just because he can shoot the three a little bit better? Yeah, he's also a traffic cone too, but
doesn't have to be. He doesn't have to be. He can defend.
I agree.
He opts out of defense.
If I had a list of maybe most disappointing players based on their talent, LaMelo Ball might be at the top of that list for me.
If the key word of the day with Morant was the key word of the day for LaMelo Ball is can. LaMelo Ball can do many things on a basketball court.
He can also turn the ball over a lot too.
He can do that as well. Okay, couple more, and then we're gonna actually finish the rank. Jamal Murray kind of always gets forgotten about because he's never made an All-Star team, and he plays with the best player in the league. 24, 6, and 5. Good. Those are all pretty much career bests or around his career bests. Not hitting threes right now, but again, it's early. 34% from three. He's 40% the last 4 years. Here's always the number with Denver that you have to look at. When Nikola Jokic is not on the court and Murray is on the court, 123 possessions, tiny sample size, getting outscored by 11.7 points per 100 possessions, which is not what you want ideally.
I'm taking Jamal Murray definitively over Ja Morant right now, even though he's a number 2 type player. And yeah, he's on the outside of that top. I know some of the other names that are coming too, right? Like he's in this range, Darius Garland, De'Aaron Fox-ish kind of range. Like I'm taking those guys over Ja Morant. I think Murray's a top 10 point guard. Yes, I'm gonna say.
Really? Okay. Well, Sean, you're taking him over Morant, I'm assuming.
Yes. However, I'm skeptical simply because that Ja Morant has a responsibility that Jamal Murray has never ever had. And
he does when Jokic is off the court, and it ain't going so well. So
well,
to your point,
I mean, but that goes to roster construction and how you construct the roster around Nikola Jokic. Where it's like, so that's I will take Murray over Durant, but I am skeptical about. And it's not just because of assist numbers. Because, like, listen, if you're playing with Nikola Jokic, you're not going to lead. You're not going to lead that team in assists. But I always just keep that in mind, like the level of responsibility.
I don't care about the assist numbers. It's just about like how does it look? How does it feel? Look, Jamal Murray is really good. He's won a championship as the second best player on a team. James Harden, who is not anybody's favorite player, he is the most efficient lead ball handler in the league this year, behind Luka and Donovan Mitchell. He's leading the league in pull-up 3 attempts, and he's hitting them at 36% clip. I mean, literally, he's really shooting lights out of the ball. Clippers are fine. The Harden discussion is like, it's like the LaMelo Ball discussion in a different way, because the talent, like with Harden, it's just the playoff stuff. But if we're just talking about for this season, I know the playoffs are part of the season. I got to tell you guys, I think I don't know that you could have a list of the top 10 point guards in the league and not have James Harden on. The guy was all NBA last year.
I don't even think this is close.
Yeah.
It's
like,
right.
Like James Harden is probably, when I say this, I think we all know this. People love the NBA, but I think he gets underrated as a playmaker all the time.
He's become underrated.
Forget how what you like about the aesthetics of his game and all that other stuff, and then the playoff stuff. But like as a playmaker, he's dope. And nah, man, like, yeah, it's not even close. James Harden. Yeah. I mean, there's a world in which I could say he's kind of like in that lock range for me.
Ooh,
yeah,
that's
because like
it's a little spicy.
I don't think he's as good as like Maxey, but he's like right after there, and he's in that maybe range for me, where it's like maybe a lock, but he's better than LaMelo Ball. I'll still take him over Josh Giddey.
Sean, you're a fan of James Harden's game off the court, certainly. Okay with him being a
I don't know what that means. I'm just gonna zoom right past it.
There's a couple of things that could mean.
Yeah, we'll talk offline. At least you didn't say my name. At least you didn't say Terry Rozier.
I did not say Terry Rozier.
I said at least you didn't say Terry Rozier.
I'd look at you differently, Sean.
So I ranked all these players. I ranked all these point guards, and I actually have Harden 6.
So
this year.
I think that's fair.
All right, so he's on the top 10. He's on the top 10.
Yeah, like I think to your point, the narrative and the stories and the fat suit and the this and the that and the playoff thing, like the noise around him takes away from the fact that like he's like when he said like I am the system, everyone laughed at him, but I knew where he was coming from. Like I do this. So yeah, absolutely.
I like 6. I like your ranking of 6. That's where I got him too, Sean. I think you're right.
You know what? Based on, I mean, look, I think this is an interesting discussion between him and like Booker, between him and Kate. Let's put him 6, because he's having just a phenomenal start to the year. And again, it's not like it's an anomaly. The guy's been doing this for a decade and a half. Okay, I don't know how long of a discussion we need to have about some of these other guys, but I did want to at least mention Derek White is having currently the worst shooting season of any high usage player in the league. He is shooting 38% on 2s and 26% on 3s. The Celtics obviously have had their struggles getting off good shots. They're also leading the league in 3s. So like clearly like they're just firing away. White might be the toughest one, because I think if you would have asked again, people who watch a lot of NBA games, any of the last couple seasons, is Derek White one of the top 10 point guards in the NBA? You get a universal yes. And now he is tasked with being essentially Jamal Murray, right? Being the second best player on his team, except the best player is not Nikola Jokic. The best player is Jaylen Brown. So maybe that's not an apples to apples comparison, but he is being tasked with doing more and having more responsibility. And thus far, at least, it has not gone well. So I guess this is a very long-winded way of asking. Can a player who, like, at his best can only be the third best player on a really good team, can you consider that guy one of the 10 best at his position in the league? Dex is shaking his head.
Yeah,
now.
my answer is no. And sometimes what happens, this is not shade to Derek White, who I think is a fantastic role player, right? It's just sometimes when you move up a role, you can get exposed. And I think that's what's happening here. And you mentioned about the shooting percentages from the Celtics. They're sticking to their philosophy under Joe Mazzulla. They're shooting a lot of threes, but they're not generating the same kind of threes they were getting last year, the same quality of threes they were getting last year. And that's sort of what you're seeing. But I think we all expected this. Derek White's a really good player. This is no shade to him. He's a really good player. You love him on your team. He defends, is a good two-way player, good top 10 point guard. He's kind of getting exposed when he has to have the higher usage. I haven't looked at where his usage rate is at this year, but obviously it's gone up a lot, and he's getting exposed a little bit in that with the higher usage for him.
Shawn, you're granted an expansion team tomorrow. With the first pick, you only have two choices, Derek White or Ja Morant. You have no idea what the rest of your roster is going to be. Who are you taking?
That's a great question. I know what I'm doing. For
an expansion team, I'm taking Ja Morant.
I'm taking Derek White.
So would I.
I'll figure out the rest later, man.
Here's the thing. Derek White, shout out to Bill Simmons. Derek White was so underrated. He became overrated, and the nerd community was going and like Derek White's a really good player, but then it became he's so good, he should be an all-star.
He's not that though. That was I don't want to say that was silly in the moment, but
so if you're not an all-star, and I'm having an expansion team, and there's one guy who's an all-star and one guy who's a good player, I'm taking the all-star and I figure it out later, not the role player and figure it out later.
I think that's a false equivalency. Kyle Korver was an all-star team. And you know why Kyle Korver was on the all-star team? Because he was on a team that was by far the best team in its conference at the time. Derek White was on a team that was by far the best team in the conference at the time, and he was the third best player on that team. That's why there was a conversation. I don't think you're now flipping the overrated, underrated thing on its head and using it against him, because I'm with Dex. I'm
taking Derek White.
I think, okay, not all stars are created equal. Kyle Korver all-star is not the same as Ja Morant all-star.
No, obviously.
What I'm saying is, if I'm starting an expansion team and he's the first pick, I have to choose between those two guys, I'm taking the all-star and I'm figuring out. Like not the
all-star.
Not the role. I'm not taking a role player. I'm not taking a role player because I looked it up, Dex. His usage is the highest of his career. It's at 23.6.
23.6, okay.
Yes. And to your point, so many people were banging the table for Derek White. He's an all-star. He should be this. He should be that. I'm like, okay, we need to relax. And so many people, how many times we've seen people talk about how Jason Tatum's getting carried, Jason Tatum this, Jason Tatum that, and now Jason Tatum is going and surprise.
I don't know about that.
Surprise. What? Wait, what? Come on.
People saying Jason Tatum's getting carried. I thought I've been a
Well, there were people in the finals 2 years ago who were saying, "Oh, Jason Tatum's not leading the way, and Jaylen Brown is." I definitely saw that, and I thought it was stupid. Like J-Man, you're rolling your eyes, and I think you should, because I thought it was crazy because also people weren't looking at how Jason Tatum was impacting the game. Even I think it was game 2 where he didn't shoot the ball well. He shot like 2 of 13, but he had like 13 boards and like 9 assists.
He's doing all this other stuff. So I say that to say, when it comes to Derek White, good point guard, but now again, when he's asked to do a job that Ja Morant is asked to do since the day he walked into the league,
I don't know if Ja Morant's gonna show up for work. I don't know that.
Derek White's one of the best cultural locker room guys. I think it's an interesting debate. Neither of Derek White's not in the top 10. We can move on.
Sean's trying to fill the seats. That's what he's trying to do. Okay. I see what Shawn is doing. He's trying to make
Sean's a smart owner. He's trying to put
he's trying to fill the seats.
Won't make a joke.
Here's your franchise player, Derek White. Let's go, Vegas.
You can tank with Derek White on your team, and then you get your franchise player in the draft next year.
If that's not the argument. Let's go.
Not a compliment for Derek White. All right. We need last but not least, I guess, before we because we don't have any stats to talk about with Garland or Fox. Trae Young is having the worst start. He's out for a month. And he's also having an abysmal shooting start to his season. I didn't realize this until I looked it up this morning. Shooting 19% on threes. More concerning, his team is 12.3 points per possessions, 100 possessions better when he is off the court. They're a little bit better on offense when he's on. They are in the giving up 16 more points per 100 possessions when he's off. Trae Young, news alert, not a great defensive player. I'm just gonna say I think he's the last guy that we've talked about that should really get consideration for the top 10, because with all the respect to Darius Garland, De'Aaron Fox, I actually had Stephen Castle's name written down here because he's having a really nice start to the year. But I do think we at least have to consider Trae Young. So let's do this. We have our top 6: SGA, Luka, Brunson, Curry, Maxey, Harden. I'm inclined to put Booker, Cade, and Giddey at 7, 8, and 9 in some order. Dex, how do you feel about that?
I'm fine with that. I thought Booker was the next guy. You said Cade, Giddey.
Those would be my 2 again in some order.
I think Trae Young gets the last spot. I might flip him over Giddey.
Well, hold on, Sean. Are you good with Booker at 7? If we're considering him a point guard,
okay. In a vacuum, Trae Young is a better point guard than Devin Booker.
You love Derek White.
But to your point, the numbers you read off, like he's like, it's like every time I believe in the Atlanta Hawks because I believe in Trae Young, this is what they do to me. But that's tough. That's tough.
I'm putting Booker at 7. I want to put Cade at 8. Cade's really good. Giddey. So Dex, you want to flip Giddey and Trae?
Yeah, I got to put some more respect on Trae's. So good offensively. He's so good of a passer.
Not this year. He hasn't been. Not for
he hasn't been.
Yeah. He's an offensive engine. He is an offensive engine that's better than he's more of an offensive engine than Devin Booker is. I think he's more of an offensive engine than
Cade is.
I
don't disagree with that.
And there are 2 sides to the court.
Yes. Yeah. Well, if we're gonna include both sides of the court, then the guy that we have up there that wears number 77, we can start bringing him down a little bit if we're gonna include that side of the court. But it's interesting.
You were the one who had him number 1.
No, because I'm not doing that. What I'm saying is that we're gonna do that.
He was not valuing the defense.
If we're gonna knock Trae Young for defense, then we gotta knock some other guys for defense. Because listen, Jamal Murray ain't locking nobody down either, right? So
look, none of these guys are locking anybody
except
down.
for SGA.
He's not a lockdown.
And he's not. Lockdown is strong.
Yeah.
SGA is a good defender, and he's like the 5th best defender on his team.
Yeah, because he plays with freaking Lou Dort and freaking and a whole bunch of defenders.
Wow.
I say that to say, I can put Trae in front of Booker, but I can understand why you would put Booker in front of him, especially for this season, the way it started for the Hawks.
We're going to put Booker ahead of him because, it's a list of the top 10 point guards, but you need to be a point guard to qualify for the list. We're ranking the top 10 players. That's what we're doing. We're not going to get into the semantics of point guard versus not point guard. It's the top 10 players who play the point guard position. We consider Devin Booker a point guard, so he's getting judged on that, and that's it. So here's the final list. Forever hold your peace. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Number 1, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Number 2, Luka Doncic. Number 3, Jalen Brunson by a hair over. Number 4, Stephen Curry. Number 5, Tyrese Maxey. Man, it feels low for Maxey. Number 6, James Harden. Number 7, Devin Booker. Number 8, Cade Cunningham. Number 9, Trae Young. Number 10, Josh Giddey. Not making the list. We didn't include Murray. Jamal Murray. Should Murray be ahead of any of these guys?
Where did I have Murray? I had Murray 9, but I had Murray 9.
So who you want to knock off?
I'm
comfortable leaving Murray off.
Sean, I'm assuming you didn't have Booker in your top 10.
See, I didn't have Booker in my 10.
Yeah,
I didn't
have
have
Booker
Booker in my top 10. So.
Yeah. So I get that. If I was taking Booker out, then Murray would be in this list for me.
Yeah, but we're not. Booker's on the list.
But he's on the list. And so Murray's on the outside looking in.
You know what's funny? This season, according to Basketball Reference, Devin Booker has played a majority, 69% of his position he's played has been the 2, 26% the 3, 5% at the 1.
Well, that stat is not accurate because, again, he is the lead playmaker for the Phoenix Suns, and he is the only person who is even remotely a point guard in their starting 5. So, look, we voted on it. We can't go back now. He's on the list. So Murray's off, Fox is off, Garland's off, White's off, LaMelo's off, and then maybe the better discussion would have been if Ja Morant's a top 15 point guard in the league. Well, we have made our decision. That is it. Final thoughts, Dexter Henry.
Shawn should be fired as GM of an expansion team if he ever gets it, since he's going to draft Ja Morant. I expected better for somebody who went to the Bronx High School of Science.
Again, if I have to pick between 2 players and one is a multiple All-Star, time All-Star, which is so I don't know how many All-Star games Ja Morant has played in. Let's say it's 3. That is 3 more than Derek White has played in. If I'm starting an expansion team, I'm not taking a role playing figuring out later. I'm sorry. Call me crazy. I'm about to ask Twitter this right now, see what happens. Because that's a scientific explanation.
I was about to say they'll give you Twitter's definitely 1,000%. They're going to give you the right answer. Shawn, anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
Check me and Jeff out on KFS After School. We'll be going live on Friday. We'll have a rousing discussion about all the people who ran around like Chicken Little that thought the sky was falling last week. Where are you now? Among other topics, including people subtweeting each other on the internet. That was lots of fun. So there you go.
Oh, I want to know more about this.
Well, you got to tune in on Friday.
I will do that.
Where can folks see you and find you?
Folks can find me at D Henry TV on the New York Post Sports YouTube channel. Got some more stuff coming up this week for New York Got Game. I too will be diving in a little bit to the people who were jumping out the window. Although Benji, friend of the show, was on last week. We tried to calm people down with Knicks through 6 games. I feel like we're gonna have to do a little bit more of that, Shawn. We have to get this out to the people, the nuance of like why you can't overreact about things in an NBA season this early. So yeah, got some more good stuff coming that should be fun as well too. So
awesome stuff. Check out Dex. He only puts out elite content, which is amazing because he puts out a lot of content. So the fact that all of it is elite is, a testament to him. Shout out to DSP Buddy in the chat. He shouted us out because we are above 800 subscribers, apparently. I didn't even realize this on the YouTube channel. If you're checking us out, if you're listening to this, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Or if you're watching on the YouTube channel on Twitter, follow us wherever you get your podcasts. Help the show out in any way you can. And shout out, last one, to Izzy Randazzo. Izzy Randazzo is one of our, we have a couple interns that are going to be helping us out moving forward. She is a Fordham intern who was backstage watching the show. We may actually get her up on stage next week so people could meet her. But this was her first experience. I'm sure she's going to have nothing but glowing things to say about the professional atmosphere here at NBA Takedown. And that is it. Until next time, we will see y'all soon. Peace out.
Peace.